A startling new poll came out this week showing that 30% of Republicans believe that violence might be necessary in order to save the United States. Here is the way the question was posed in the poll. That, by the way, thousands of people polled, at least, every state had people polled. Struggled to think of how to word that. But anyway, thousands of people across every state here in the United States, 30% of Republicans said, because things have gotten so far off track, true American patriots may have to resort to violence in order to save our country. Now, that was the exact statement as was posed in the poll, word for word. Because things have gotten so bad, true patriots may have to resort to violence. What does any of that mean? Because things have gotten so bad. See, because that's my problem with this, is that there's no follow-up. Ask them what the hell is so bad. What has changed in their life in the last 12 months as we transitioned from Donald Trump to Joe Biden? What's changed? What's gotten worse? Right? How is your life materially worse off today than it was 12 months ago? That should have been the question. And the question also should have included violence against whom? Violence against your neighbors? Violence against the opposing political party? Or violence against the United States itself? Because depending on the answer there, that could be treasonous thinking. The kind of thing that law enforcement officials probably should be paying more attention to here in the United States. The poll also went on, though, and it found that 39% of Republicans who do believe the election was stolen from Trump, 39% of those people said violence may be necessary. So not a huge jump, and that's a little shocking, between regular Republicans and your conspiracy-loving Republicans. So what that tells us is that there's not a whole lot of daylight between those two groups, between your average run-of-the-mill Republican and the conspiracy theorists. That's equally terrifying, folks. We don't have a Republican Party here in this country anymore. We have a Democratic Party that is still struggling to figure out how in the hell to do things, and we have a crazy nutjob party over here. Those are our two parties. Struggling Democrats, crazy nutjobs. I'll take the struggling Democrats over the crazy nutjobs any day of the week, by the way. But the crazy nutjobs have almost as much power as the Democrats. When you look across the states, they actually have more power than the Democrats. And as this poll shows, a third of them are ready for violence, but we don't know who they want to get violent against. You, me, their neighbors, the Democratic Party, or maybe the government itself. That's open for interpretation, I guess, but either way you interpret that, it's really horrible news for the United States. And it's very telling about both where the Republican Party is today and where this country is headed. I'm not happy about either of those. Whenever you have a third of a party saying that, yeah, we're going to have to get violent because we're the true patriots, that never ends well for anyone.